going or we're
Whole
gonna
2 minutes
go?
late.
We're going?
Like we're going now.
We're live?
We're live. Hi, everyone. So sorry about the 2-minute delay. I hope you'll forgive us.
Yeah, sorry about that.
We lost all
Corey
our
and-
subscribers.
Corey and Matt.
We had a very intense 2-minute long conversation, I promise you.
Arcane Shadows, what do you need? I got a couple Cobalts.
Yeah, you do.
By the
Unless you need
way-
specific ion redline parts.
By the way, Matt, I guarantee you take more naps than I do.
I don't. Are you a nap kind of guy, Tim?
No, I do not take
I don't think
naps.
so.
Naps are so scary. You wake up in a panic attack, don't know where you are,
Nope.
what time
Is that
it
Matt?
is.
Is that Matt Burt with the standalone Matt Burt?
Yeah.
Hey, nice to see you. I don't know what you said, but
Yeah,
you know.
I gave a few select individuals a heads up of what we were talking about today so that we could get some real good discussion topics. in the
Cool.
chat.
Well, on that note, friends, what are we talking about today?
I'm kind of mad that I didn't think to do that
we
myself.
are talking about the greatest race series ever to live.
Tyler's been gunning for this
Should he?
podcast for 8 years now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I've been playing the long game here.
I've been gunning for 2 years. Tim has the impulsiveness all of us need.
Yep.
And now we're here.
Yep.
Maybe the
That
money
is
too.
Oh, man. I mean, it was a $600 car, so, I mean,
Yeah.
not really a money problem.
No.
Hold on, what do the lights mean?
You're
Yeah,
behind.
Perks of work as ZZP. You get cool stuff like Bluetooth water bottles.
Yeah, like,
that
seriously,
tell
we
you
have
how much to drink.
we have a competition here
You only have
about these
16
water
ounces?
bottles.
It's got an update.
Look at, what are you doing? Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
All right.
That's what I thought. Yeah, you're losing, huh?
Crap.
But yeah, anyway, so we have these hydrate water bottles, and ZZP likes to promote a healthy lifestyle. So we have like a lot of running competitions and like workout competitions, and now we have this hydrate thing to where it's an expensive water bottle, but if you hit your goal every day for like a month,
Yep.
then ZZP ends up paying for it, I believe.
Yep.
So yeah, so I mean it's expensive,
Pretty
cool Bluetooth water bottle. It takes your health, like your weight, your activity level, and then determines a optimal water amount for you.
Which for Ryan Derrick is not 200 ounces of water, even though he thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry about that long rant,
Famous
We do
famous
that.
warrior. We are talking spec base model. If you
Yes.
didn't see the video from yesterday after the podcast, go watch it. Tim got himself a 07 base model. I have an 07 base model. Trevor used to have a base model, but he sold it. But it had a blower, so it wouldn't have counted.
And it was an auto, so he would have lost.
It
Well,
wasn't a base model. It was a mid model.
that's true. It was technically an SS.
Oh, here we go.
Jason.
Listen, you two 4SS guys, don't try to pretend.
Jason, just because you can't tune it doesn't mean you still can't come out and have fun.
Yep.
Throw some coilovers on that bitch.
Yeah.
You
It's
can't-
totally fine.
You can't tune the factory ECU.
Yeah, how
We can-
cheap?
we can standalone it.
What's the cheapest fuel tech now? Like
Under a
1500?
grand.
Under a grand?
Yeah.
Oh, see,
Are they
cheaper
really?
than buying another car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have sales all the time.
Is that like make your own harness under a grand?
That's
though?
unterminated. But if you're piggybacking, you need that anyway.
Mm.
And at that point, if we decide to do something like that, we would just make like 10 harnesses and actually probably sell
Yeah.
Yeah.
sell it. Like
If it literally enough people asked for them and would pay, I'm sure we'd do it.
I love the idea of a standalone, but I feel like on an NA Cobalt, there's not much you'd be taking advantage of.
Well, I'd be on that two-step every damn stoplight.
Can you make your standalone quick disconnect from the Honey Badger to the?
So you just,
People have done things like that.
there you go.
Like, it does pop off and the clips come out.
That sounded like such a political answer. People have done things like that before.
Atom Project, you can't swap the ECU because the whole ignition system's different. Is the crank trigger wheel different too?
I don't remember.
Don't know. But, yeah, so 07 plus for any 2.2 guys.
yeah.
So
I mean, the old ones are fine. You could have an 05, 06,
Yeah.
and if dyno it, and maybe we'll give you a power advantage or something. You can add more mods than we can run to get away with it.
Yeah, so if
fine.
Yeah. See
anyone
that.
missed it, spec base model is based around the premise that everyone is on a level playing field. So
Yep.
you go out and you race. Nobody's making more power and power to weight ratio would be what we would be looking for.
We're talking road course,
Yep.
not drag racing.
Yep,
obviously,
because
but-
Also,
no one cares about running 17-second quarter miles, but
yeah. Yeah, also, what's cool about it is since you're removing so much power, it's going to like even the playing field as he said, because a better driver with a faster car is going to be way faster than a beginner with a slow car. So it's like it forces you to learn to be a better driver. Like you could put anybody in a 160 crank horsepower car and teach them how to race a car properly.
Yeah.
You're not trying to judge a braking zone at 150 miles an hour.
no, you're going 90.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
We'll
You were
see.
earlier. You gave a great example of like the snowball on Gingerman, which most
it's-
people probably don't know Gingerman, but I guess you can fill them in. Like the back straight, you're going what in that car? 600 horsepower Cobalt.
You're probably going 140 miles an hour on
yeah.
the back straight.
Yeah.
Which
And
is
you're-
terrifying.
Yes, Drew, base Cobalt.
Yep. Yeah, forget about the
Kelly already knows all about it. She can fill you in.
forget about the Kappa. We're doing base Cobalts now.
Yeah.
Bing bong.
Bing bong. Hey Jeff.
Yeah.
Oh, hey Jeff, how are your cars doing?
The big cheese is running well.
Oh, okay.
I
Yep.
saw that. a
The
little
cheese
bit
is
ago.
good.
That's good.
The cone bolt still needs to go under the knife
Yeah.
after its tensioner exploded.
Ooh.
Oops.
So many red lines will do that.
But yeah, it'll be fun. Ryan's car, he's always running a street tire. He never has a cool tire on it. I mean, he runs a really good summer tire, but it's not like a 200 tread
No,
wear.
no.
So you have to judge a braking zone of a 2,800 pound Cobalt that makes 600 wheel horsepower. So let's say they have 6 brake markers. You have to brake at like the imaginary eighth in his car to get it to slow down enough for the direct 90-degree right-hander.
Yeah.
So it's
Jeez.
hard. It's
Wh-
hard.
Whereas if you're coming up at it at 90 or 100, you just stab the brakes real quick at the last marker and whoop.
Well,
Yeah.
it's hard,
Turn it on
and
in.
even more importantly, there's zero forgiveness range. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you made it or you missed it.
Uh-huh.
If you miss it, you're
And if you miss it, you're going up that hill.
Yeah, and Ryan's car at that time didn't have ABS.
No thanks.
Oh yeah.
So,
No thanks.
like, a good driver will be fine without ABS, let's say. I think you're still better off with ABS. But, like, a good driver would be okay without ABS. But if you panic and you don't do the let off, hit the brake again thing.
You're flat
because-
spotting and just
Yeah, I had an oops on Tail of the Dragon the first year I went. I took our maybe the HHR or something, and I came into a corner, an outside corner one to death.
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
say, and I slammed on the brakes, and there was a little bit of a elevation change.
Oh, and it-
locked the front tires
Yep.
up, and like I've had enough road course experience to where I let off the brake, hit the brake again, and it stopped that time, and
Yeah.
I turned fine. But like it's just enough to scare you as you have the front tires locked up into an outside turn.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Like, so yeah.
No, base Cobalt is not the only option. So we were talking about this at lunch today. Any Delta chassis vehicle, so Ion, HHR, G5, Pontiac Pursuit in Canada, and the Cobalt. If you
Yeah, HHR's in there.
HHR's in there,
if you
and we
really
have-
wanna do it.
now we would have to get into. We might want to weigh one and see what the exact
No,
difference
they
is.
can just be last.
But if you want to go for an HHR, you can get a 2.4 and be on the same playing field.
well, what about
I'm
just a
with-
weight penalty for anyone that has a 2.4?
yeah, probably.
That's fine.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
We'd have to figure out what our power to weight ratio is going to be.
I mean,
The,
we
the
should.
class is gonna equalize itself.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
if
for sure.
somebody's always in the front all the time, obviously we'll have to give them a
That
weight
is a good
penalty.
idea. We could just find an average power weight, and then I don't know. I guess decide as a group. Like if there is something you wanted to add,
Yeah.
fine, but you get the weight penalty
yeah,
that goes
super
with
easy
it too.
in your math
Yeah,
brain.
but
doing
we're
stuff.
definitely not doing any force induction. No force induction,
Yes.
no
No.
nitrous, no power adders. This
Yeah.
is straight up. This is
It's an NA Delta chassis
yep.
thing.
And I know with me, I will have no secrets. Like I'll have no secrets. Like anything I figure out works on my car, I will share it with
Oh, yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, we're all-
If people want to be secretive, that's fine. But like I am going to be open book because I'm all in support of this. So
Well, we want to figure out new parts we can make too.
Yeah.
It is the end goal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's I wanted some people to join in on this discussion because this isn't just
For fun.
for a fun thing. Like this is another avenue that we can go, and we have admittedly kind of neglected, not kind of, we've completely
Yeah.
neglected the base model.
Well,
for
I mean,
most
Yeah.
of the run.
We
through
build
the
things off
Delta.
competition. Nobody's ever competed with us, so we're just going to compete with ourselves.
Yeah.
I think our mistake was that the only parts we made for the base model guys were the hardcore things, like a turbo kit, a supercharger kit.
Yep.
So, and then we didn't sell a ton of them, so we're like, oh,
They don't want to buy anything.
the platform's not popular.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really fair. In hindsight, is 2020. It's like, oh crap! Like we never made a cold air intake for this
No,
car.
I was telling Ryan, I mean, I still have my base model. I came here, I bought all the parts I could, and then that was it. Like I never had the funds to be able to do the blower kit or the turbo kit, and I would have loved to, but I ran out of parts. So
Yep.
then that's kind of where it sat.
Yeah.
And I always wanted a cold air intake and an actual one. And for if anyone cares, our current intake tube and a K&N filter flows probably more than enough for what you want to do, but you don't get the cool noises. So
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think I'm assuming here, and people can chime in, but that platform is going to want the shiny parts.
Yeah.
You know, most people aren't buying a cold air intake for performance. Honestly,
No.
I'm sorry,
Y-
you guys are probably gonna argue with me, but that's true.
Oh,
Like,
I
people
believe it.
want the shiny part under the hood. They want the one more check mark on
Yeah.
their mod list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yep.
shiny part
So-
and the good noises. That's
Yeah.
why an intake is almost always the first thing you do because you get turbo noises or induction noises. Like,
Yeah.
it's good.
No, we do not do any Dodge here.
No. I suppose you could use a 2002 Saturn L200, but I just looked it up. They are not on a Delta chassis. It's the GM 2900, which
What?
I don't know what
They
that
had
was.
a proprietary
Who comes
chassis?
up with these things?
Yeah.
for-
Well, it was an Opel-based one.
Heck yeah, G5 GT works. That'd be my preferred vehicle.
Yep. But remember, 2.4 gets you a weight penalty.
That's
so-
right.
I mean, Drew is a penalty by himself. So
he might get a.
love you, buddy.
I
Yeah.
was going to say, Tim was saying as long as he knows he's faster than him, he didn't care. I heard him say this on lunch.
I think so.
But yeah, so I have a mod list of my car here.
Yeah.
Which is not done, but this is what I'm doing.
So
Obviously,
this is the done what you believe to be the spec base model list of allowed mods.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not really putting any limits on suspension mods.
No.
Like, do your thing.
I think
Brakes,
you can-
suspension.
If you want to buy some baller, I don't know, $2,000 KW coilovers, sure, but we have
If
ours.
you want to put carbon ceramic rotors on it,
Go
on your
ahead.
base model, then
if you can find someone to make carbon ceramic brakes
I want to see it.
for the little 10-inch rotor, they cost like $6,000 a piece.
No, we're just putting the 17-inch rotors on
okay,
there.
all
Like,
right.
There we go.
Oh,
Let's do this.
Off topic, but speaking of gigantic rotors, did you know that the rotors on the new RS6 wagons from Audi are 17 inches across?
What?
Wow.
The rotor itself is 17 inches.
What
I think-
size wheel do they come with?
22.
22s.
I think my M6 was
Factory.
I think my M6 was 17-inch rotors too.
Oh my
In the
gosh.
front. Two-piece
That's
rotor,
a
front
giant-
and back.
Heck, you'd
Like,
only need a single pot to lock the wheel up.
yeah.
A single pot
crazy.
with a brake pad that's
And
this
I'm
big.
pretty sure it's like a 6-piston caliper too. Like,
Goodness gracious.
I do love that about new cars is they're actually
Oh.
putting adequate brakes on it.
All the brake systems now are sweet.
Yeah.
My 92 Mitsubishi Eclipse GSX all-wheel drive made like 450 wheel horsepower, and that thing came with like a 9.5-inch rotor, single piston caliper on the front.
I don't
yeah.
think they intended on it having 450 horsepower though.
It's a turbo four-cylinder, but yeah, I they just like, hey, it goes fast. Who cares about stopping?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
But your mod list.
Oh, yeah.
What do we got?
Yep.
All right, so I went with ZZP coilovers because I figured that's going to be the cheapest performance-oriented coilover. We're going to be
You
able to
touched
offer.
on that last week, I think, and I was thinking about it in hindsight, and the price point probably isn't that far off. like you were talking about, you're probably gonna have to do all 4 corner shocks and struts.
That's what
Yeah.
that's what I figure. We're not going to be buying 60,000 mile G5s here, and
No, yeah,
you know, and they're what FE1 struts probably.
Yes.
So at minimum, you would
They're
want to
not
be
good.
going to FE5 stuff.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, is it going to perform better with the full Powell setup? You know, yeah, but the Powell stuff is like
maybe.
$2,500.
Oh, that.
Oh, it's
setup
Bill
that you're
Steen's.
talking about.
Yeah, like it, you know, so and this is a base model, and we're trying to promote this. So you know, ZZP coilovers,
Accessible parts.
I only put a rear sway bar in it because I'm sure this thing is going to understeer still. So I'm going to be battling that.
I think sway bar should be unlimited. I want this thing
for
on
sure.
casters in the back.
Yeah. I'm going to do, Powell is actually sending me his subframe bushings for the rear axle. He, you know, they had a whole bunch, he did like, you know, hundreds of hours, thousands of hours, let's say, of time attack testing on the Cobalt. And the driver kept asking for more and more sway bar, just more and more rear sway bar, more and more, to where I believe it ended up with like a solid sway bar. And he was like, I want more. So then Powell whipped up these bushing connectors. Same
Because
thing.
they finally figured out that once you got to a certain size, the bars going thicker wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
bars just weren't flexing anymore. It was
Yeah.
everything else that was flexing.
Yep.
Yeah. So he has these little inserts that just tighten up the rear axle, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh crap, take more, take the bar out."
Yeah. Well,
And-
and even if you're not doing those, just refreshing those rear bushings, I'm sure will be a giant step for everyone. That beam that I got out of the parts car that we had, I unbolted it, and the bushing just rotated and fell apart.
Oh.
And that car didn't even have, I mean, it had like 140,000 miles on it or something.
Oh, you're the one that got that beam? Did Noah find you?
No.
Oh.
Well, it wasn't his brakes.
It wasn't his brakes.
Oh.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Can't wait to hear about that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to either put the Powell ones on our website, or we'll make them if John doesn't want to like deal with them anymore. I don't know.
Yep.
Because he has told me before, like, don't buy them from me, just make them yourself. So I'll talk to him, figure it out. We'll have something on the
I do
website
think
for
that's
that.
a product we need to, his or ours, get out there for
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Anyone with
Especially
a,
because these cars are getting kind of old.
Yeah.
The bushing's probably going to need replaced anyway.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
only option other than those are a Dorman sells a replacement rubber one. So,
Eh. Nah.
you know.
Yeah, if you're going to go through the work, you might as well
Yeah,
be
because
solid.
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I can't remember which video we touched on that. I thought it was one of your LSJ build series where we did the rear sway bar where we had the GoPro under it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Neat video.
You guys would not believe how much that beam flexes. Because
It's-
I've always been like, it's metal. What?
I never saw that video.
That's extra
Oh,
weight.
it's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It like twists like 6 inches up and down. Both
it's kind of
ways.
wild.
Wow.
You can watch
Twists
the
a lot.
whole.
Yeah, 6 inches.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
6 mil.
Millipede.
Oh man, reminds me of Zoom's skunk story. Oh god, I'll tell you guys about that sometime. But so the next thing is control arm bushings. Again,
Yep.
we're not building 30,000 mile base model Cobalts. Your
They're
control
gonna
arm
need
bushings are
replaced.
whooped.
Oh, they're whooped.
You know, when you accelerate, it's probably towing in. When you hit the brakes, it's probably towing out. You want it to tow how you want it to tow. So to keep mine semi-budget, that's a joke. To keep it semi-budget, I used our solid rubber
Yep.
front
11
control
bucks a
or
piece.
rear control
Yeah.
arm bushings,
Yeah,
and then
you,
I
you
use
keep thinking Grand Prix.
yeah, I do.
They're opposite.
Yeah. And then I use the Powell fronts, which we sell. And for budget, you know, I put our rotors and power stop pads on it. I want to see what the limit of that is.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to upgrade, but I'll see what it is. I put .4 fluid in it. .4 fluid is an absolute must.
Yep.
Everybody that road courses their car needs that. I've had oopses in every car I've ever taken to the track that didn't have .4 fluid.
Yep.
That one time that you hit
Boil
the
the
brake,
fluid.
the one time you hit that brake pedal and it takes 1 millimeter extra of brake to slow the car down is your one warning that you may or may not get. And I'm serious. Like you're like, oh, brake pedal is a
Little
twitch,
soft.
funny.
Yeah.
The next time you hit it, there's
It's
going to be
going
nothing.
Yep.
And bad times. Then next thing I have shifter base bushings, steering rack spacers because I went ricer low on mine. I went with our billet engine mount. I went with our rear trans mount. I have our 9.5-inch clutch in it.
Yep.
Because it's bigger than stock. You know, we made a custom flywheel. It's aluminum, so it's like what?
10 pounds?
11 pounds
Yeah.
lighter than stock, I think. And it uses the bigger disc from the SS car. So that's some weight savings and power.
All that torque you're making, you really got to clamp that down. You know?
That's
You know
right.
it. You know it. I went with our strut tower bar because why not?
Why not?
I've never put a camera under there to see if they move, but it looks neat.
Yep, it does
And
look
I
neat.
don't see how it wouldn't help. One thing I will do is race seats. I found race seats for $415 a pair on eBay.
Wow. Okay.
Why not?
All right.
Not bad.
You know, it's gonna, even on my base model seats, I'm sure it's gonna save 10 pounds a seat at least.
Yeah, and the base model seats are trash.
Dude,
They're real bad.
because like one thing, another thing on road course is you spend a lot of mental energy using your knees to keep you in the car.
Well, mental energy and physical.
Yes.
When I road course the Camaro, which doesn't have very good seats, the next day I feel like I got beat up.
Yeah.
Because you're bracing yourself so much.
Yep.
And like you said, you're wasting your subconscious energy
Yeah.
on bracing yourself.
Especially if you're a small boy like
Yeah.
Tyler and I, and everything
Yeah,
feels like a couch to
If
you.
Al was in there, he would just go like this and he'd be fine.
Flex the shoulder blades and be
Yeah, believe me, I,
I just
know.
grabbed
it's-
the seat with my shoulder blades.
Yep.
It was kind of like, it was like me and Al on the airplane. Al and I on the airplane going to China for Lung Guy to do some tuning over there. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were touching hips.
Yeah.
Like elbows, like his elbow was on the bottom and my elbow was on the top. I had more body contact with you than my own wife for like
A whole weekend.
17 hours each way.
We'll stop there.
On that, I couldn't believe when I put a harness bar and NRG non-certified harnesses in my car. So I had to wear the stock seatbelt because it's safety.
Yep.
And harness bars are But when you strap in and tighten it actually down,
Oh, it's crazy.
crazy
yeah.
difference.
Insane. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
probably more than any mod could have done for my car for lap times.
I met a guy, Grant Mullet, at one of the Grid Lifes, and he had a C5Z06, and within the same month, he was at Gingerman and was running 143, I think, 143 stock seat.
Pretty quick.
And C5 seats are probably pretty close to a base model seat. Like they're trash.
Yeah.
He put a race seat in, didn't change anything else. Within the same month, so weather was pretty similar. Ran a 141, dropped 2 seconds
Nice.
just from the
And
seat.
I totally believe that.
I believe it too. Yeah, crazy.
Like if you would ask me, I would probably guess like 1 or 2 seconds.
Wow.
So the next thing is harnesses. I think I'm stealing Al's harness bar. I think didn't you offer that to me or something like that?
Yeah. That sounds right.
Otherwise, I'll just weld something in there. It's
let's
free.
we got
let's,
it down there
let's
somewhere.
make a jig for that, and then we can just make them.
Yeah.
all of us.
Oh, okay.
We could.
Good.
You know, it's easy enough. And
We
then
have a bender now.
a racing wheel. The reason why I went with a racing wheel is a couple reasons. Number
Scene
one,
points.
it's lighter.
Scene points.
Number two, it looks neat, so it gives you a neat feel when you're in the car.
Hot boy.
Scene points.
And then number two, you can change the diameter of it. So if you want a smaller wheel, if you
Yep.
want a bigger wheel,
Yep.
you can make
Can
it
we
whatever
make
you
one
want.
of those cool billet hooks?
Yeah.
So you can like.
Yeah.
Click it,
I
put it
need
up
to-
there.
I
I'm
need to
in.
make one for
I'm
my
in.
car.
Even though I will admit I used my wheel to get in and out of the car, so I don't think I would.
you're
Oh.
pulling on it
In
and
the
pushing
sky?
it? Wow.
Yeah, on everything I think. Pretty
Your
sure
knees are longer than mine.
when I get in,
Your
I
knees.
think I use it more than getting out.
Peyton, yes, they use the same style rear beam. One thing that a lot of people don't know is the beam itself is the same, but there is what you could call a sway bar in the center of it. So there's the triangle beam, and then there's a center bar. The FE5 cars actually have a larger center bar than the base models too. So not only is a beam upgrade good for the rear brakes, but you get a stiffer bar as well. So the bushings are all the same, but yeah,
Oh.
FE3, FE5 beams are more rigid.
You're talking about the OEM bar in that triangle is different
Yep.
on the.
That's
Interesting.
nice.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a good bit different too. But I'm with you. I've never done the front sway bar on these cars, and the more I learn about suspension technology too, is obviously a sway bar is nice because it reduces body roll, it feels nice and stiff, but especially for road course cars like these,
You need your tires on the ground.
yeah,
Yeah.
more sway bar means less independent
And
articulation.
weight. Every time you go up in sway bar, you're adding pounds.
Yeah. So a lot of really fast time attack cars don't run sway bars.
What?
They just spring up the sides because it's taking your independent suspension and making it
More independent.
yeah. So we're not going to be running 20K springs on these cars because we don't have any Aero, but we may.
Yeah. And they're light
I was
cars.
going to bring that up later in the conversation.
Yeah.
Big wangs.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I have to be careful because I don't know, I just go overboard on everything.
Really? You don't
But
say?
it's so bad, so bad. So I got to make sure to not show up with a full time attack Aero car to
I
our
think
spec base model class.
To an extent,
But
Aero might get a pass on this class because from my research, not experience, it seems that Aero is very driver has to use it to work.
Well, and you need speed to use
Yes.
it. Well, these
So-
cars aren't going to be fast enough to need.
If Tim and I both had time attack wings, big ol' splitters, Tim's gonna gain a bunch of time. I probably won't, just on experience and how fast you're keeping up the speed.
and then we'll just borrow Ryan's wing because he ain't using it.
buy the same bottom mounts and be like, just one weekend, Ryan. Just one weekend.
It's not going anywhere.
But so some neat pointers that I came up with here that I didn't know before the build, and Tyler filled me in on a lot of this because he was very familiar. Some SS to base model differences. He's already said a couple, but there's a couple other ones. SS lower control arms are aluminum, not stamped bullcrap steel.
Yep.
So I have Noah's old aluminum ones from his SS when he put his tubulars on. I'm going to throw those on.
Perfect.
The steering rack is a different
Redlines
ratio.
had those.
Yeah.
They were bad. Real bad.
The stamped
Oh.
ones.
So bad.
Yup.
Very flexy.
The steering rack in the SS has a different ratio. I noticed that the first time I drove it around the building. I'm like, why am I having to give so much steering input to just drive through a parking lot?
It's
ridiculous.
For some reason, the opposite. I like the base model rack better than the SS one.
I like
have an
fighter
extra.
jet. Give
I'll
me
have an
like
extra.
this.
I don't know.
Yes.
I love the fighter
I switched
jet
to
feeling.
the base model rack in my car just because I deleted the power steering.
Oh, that'll
But
help.
that makes sense.
And plus, I'm trying to go straight, so having a little more ratio isn't a bad thing for me.
Yeah. That'll give you a little better, if your car's turning a little bit.
Right. I can more gently correct.
yeah, there's
that.
more resolution for you to
Yeah.
go
Yeah, that's what I was
back and forth.
Yeah. And then I'm going to do an SS bumper on the front just because
It looks
it's got a
way
little bit of
better.
a lip. It looks better. And it has two awesome fog light holes that I'm
That'll
going to
be-
use for brake ducts.
Yep. That was my plan with the blue car. And, well, here we are.
Well,
Well,
you
you
still
got
have the
an
bumper.
extra
Yeah, now,
Well, guess
now I
the
got
new
an extra
doesn't have
car
it, but-
and, a lot of work ahead of me.
You guys
But-
will see that soon. Next
Yeah.
episode.
Well, the reason I was going to bring up Aero is because I was thinking if and when I get involved in this,
Not
I
if,
don't
but
really,
when.
Yeah, this is a really bad podcast for us, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Glad my wife doesn't watch these. Like a honey badger bumper, but not
Yeah.
quite as aggressive. But in the spirit of budget cheap class, just grabbing some Kydex and some rivets and boom, boom, boom.
Or plywood.
Yeah, or
I mean,
whatever.
Plywood has come down, so it's probably a little cheaper than Kydex now. But, well, that Kydex was kind of pricey, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Kydex
It's
went
not
up
cheap.
a lot.
But I have hundreds of dollars into Kydex, but I do have a ton.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have
you got a lot to
multiple
work with.
cars of splitter. But yeah, thanks to Al for researching the Kydex. Basically fancy plastic.
Good
Yep.
point. I should just take Mike's car.
I told him I'd give him $14 for it.
I'd be bored with racing it by the
That's a
time
pretty
he's
good
done
offer.
rebuilding
That's a
the
pretty good
engine
offer.
again.
Fill in the rest of the class. What is this car you guys are talking about?
Mike Johnson's G5.
The TVS G5.
What about it?
It weighs like 2,200 pounds.
Yeah. I'm very familiar with the car, but he's done with it?
No, he's
No, he rebuilt the engine like 18 times, and he can't put it in the dang car. and
yeah.
leave it
He
alone.
keeps putting it together,
Oh,
taking
so you
it
just need to
apart.
borrow it.
Yeah.
Just like Adam's intake manifold.
Yeah. That's still going to sit on his floor for 4 years.
Don't worry, I put it on his counter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, HHR's front arms are aluminum. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's nice.
See?
Heavier
Big old
maybe
boat. They got to have
We're
going to
be robbing a lot of parts from HHRs here.
No kidding.
From
We're going to
junkyards.
be making some Weller trips.
So I think we should touch on, because we all know, but these people might not, why all of us sitting here at this table want to drive a light, super slow base model Cobalt. As we all have 400 plus horsepower cars that are road course ready.
Because car insurance in Michigan is so
That too.
incredibly stupid that
Yeah,
I
but Cobalts-
cannot get a ticket.
Cobalts are bad. Cobalts are
Yeah.
kind of high insurance for
The
what the car
coupes
is.
are.
The coupes, yeah.
The sedans are not.
Ah,
My
nice.
my 07 base model Cobalt, because it has 2 doors, is twice the price of Erica's 300 horse SS HHR, because hers is a station wagon, and the base model is a coupe. So more hooligans drive coupes, so they have to jack the
I wonder if
insurance
they
up.
count the doors.
I mean,
or-
hooligans
Yeah.
like my own son.
Yes, exactly.
He's
Like,
crashed it into a
he's-
curb twice.
he's in here too. He
Yeah.
said, "I did."
Yeah, like
Austin, stop!
Stop hitting
whatever
curbs.
you're doing. Stop it.
Stop sooner.
you are a part of the reason why the Cobalt has such an insurance high point score.
Yeah, he is. He is the reason insurance is crazy.
Single-handedly.
But all right, so another I know I have my answer. I love it is so much more fun to drive a slow car fast because I love the feeling of beating the living crap out of your car,
Absolute.
bringing it out.
Every stoplight, you just
Yes.
floor it all the time, and
it
it
doesn't
never
hurt
lets
it.
you down.
Yep.
It
Ever.
doesn't hurt it.
Yep.
I've had my base model for 100,000 miles, and probably 90,000 of those are watt.
I mean, we're not gonna lie to you guys. Our high horsepower builds that get beat on, they break.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
Other than the Sonic for some weird reason. But
Yeah.
Like, my car survived an entire season.
And that's impressive.
everyone here's like, and you're taking it apart?
Well, when
Yeah.
you quadruple the horsepower
yeah.
Yeah.
of an engine that was meant to run reliably for 200,000 miles, whatever it may be, well, your time frame is going to get shorter and
Yeah,
shorter.
yeah.
So,
But
Yeah.
road course specifically is, other than I don't know, rallycross, one
Yeah.
of the hardest motorsports on a car.
well, yeah, you got G-forces, you've got heat, a lot of heat.
And then
that's
just full throttle for 20 minutes straight.
yeah. If your car, pardon me, has any problems,
That was disgusting.
Just straight into the mic.
normally I catch them, but yeah, if there's anything wrong with your car, one road course session will bring it out.
Yes.
Finish it off.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're gonna have to figure out if heat's gonna be an issue. I don't know. Might not be.
Probably.
Probably will be.
Maybe
Probably.
we'll come
But
out with a
relative
double-sized
to a-
Ecotech radiator.
Turbo / supercharged car, we're dealing with a lot less heat.
Lot less heat.
Like half.
Yeah.
and no
Yeah,
no
less
complex
power,
cooling
less heat.
systems. The only cooling you have to worry about is your engine oil and your engine coolant, and that's it, which is great. And we make an oil cooler adapter.
Yep.
Which
For base models.
Also change both of those
not yet
fluids
for base model.
Base
instantly.
model blocks don't have the holes.
Well, you make an adapter for the filter, and then
Well, how about
through
this?
all that
An
noise.
easier one. The LDK oil pans that we have hundreds of here.
Yeah, that works.
Boom, 6.5 quarts of oil capacity.
You can swap oil pans.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Boom.
Ecotech is like Legos. You just
Do we
kinda-
sell the oil pan
Yeah.
directly?
Yeah.
We got containers of them.
That's
Yeah.
the move, guys.
Yeah.
That's-
So
Yeah, everyone should be running LDK oil pan.
Yeah.
you
Fill
know
that
what?
boy up.
We'll have to do a tech article on this probably. You know, just to give people bullet points of buy.
Although they don't fit Kappas, do they?
But
What's that?
They don't fit Kappas, do they?
no, they do
Kappas are
not fit
different.
Kappas.
No.
Or slingshots.
Because the
Well.
subframe goes
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
Kappas,
Believe me, that's-
Kappas
yeah.
are weird. They have-
Delta people.
Yeah.
LDK oil pan.
Yeah. That'll be on mine. Powell sent me his baffles for oil slosh. You know, I don't want to hurt my new engine.
if you have an LDK pan would you just buy the LDK dipstick and it would read right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We sell both on the site.
And you don't have to deal with the stupid dipsticks that are always bad and freaking blowing out and being dumb and.
Yep.
And then so next thing is weight.
Yeah. Weight.
Lightening this car, because lightening the car is less weight to accelerate, less weight to brake, less weight to corner, less tire wear, less freaking everything. So like I already mentioned, seats, steering wheel, both are are upgrades that lighten the car. I took the passenger side airbag out of mine.
Oh.
The cover just pops off, and then there's 2 bolts from the glove box. That thing is way heavier than it looks. I didn't weigh it, but it weighs a lot.
Yeah.
When you do your racing steering wheel, it pulls that out. And somebody might complain about safety, but those things go off when they're not supposed to go off all the time.
And
when
then
you're
don't when they're supposed to.
yeah. So I mean, the last thing you want to do is have a friggin' road course off that's completely fine and your airbag blows.
Yeah.
Like this happens.
Yeah, you have too much angle
would be
change
bad.
in
I
the
know
sensor.
a lot of
and-
guys on road course pull their airbag fuse.
Yeah.
I've heard of that anyways.
Yeah.
Like just because if you go off 2 wheels and the airbags go off, that's
I mean,
you don't want that. Like,
Grand Prix have blown their airbags off in the burnout box. Not one, multiple.
what?
Oh, the shock sensor.
Yeah.
Probably as soon as you hit the dry pavement and it feels a difference, it goes
Or the vibration or whatever.
something. Yeah.
Or if you got some wheel hop or something, that
Yeah.
would set it off.
Steve Hickman was the first one I saw do it, and I
Really?
saw another car do it too.
Jeez. Steve had that happen to him?
Yes.
I'll have to ask him about that.
Blew it off like right in his friggin' face.
On your point, though,
Not
and
good.
going off Tim's, the one of the biggest things is just consumables. Going to the road course is not cheap.
Right.
It is an
No.
expensive hobby.
Yeah.
Cars in general are an expensive hobby, but then going there is even more expensive. That's why I wanted this year to switch to my Cobalt, was because tires were less. You're going
Brakes.
through them less. Brakes are less. The Camaro is extremely capable, but it's 285s all around. It has giant 15-inch brakes on the front that take $300 brake pads. Or a Cobalt has little tiny brakes that do the job.
Yeah.
$50. A set of tires is $600 instead of $1,200, and you're
Yeah.
going through them, half as fast.
And
Yeah.
whenever you add power to these things, you have to reinforce every single other system of a car to match that.
Fuel system, clutch,
Brakes,
everything.
Yeah, like whatever. So the
Yeah.
Camaro was, at some point, we're going to find the weaknesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
that's your job
I-
to an extent, but
Already have, it needs an oil cooler. It needs more engine cooler. It's
tranny cooler.
Yeah, it needs a tranny cooler. There's just all these things that,
Needs nitrous
Make-
for the tranny cooler.
make us make products, which is great.
yep.
But when we're, ZZP doesn't pay for our road course days. This is all personal budget. So when you're doing it and paying for it yourself, you got to find some.
Yeah. There is no spec-based model Cobalt class, but
We're
I
gonna make it happen.
We're
guarantee
making it.
if enough people show up with them, there will be.
Oh yeah.
Like a grid life type event, yeah, they will do it.
Yeah.
They will do it.
And if you have any ZZP platform, we'll just say it now, and you're local to us and you want to go on road course, or you already do, like, just come out. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what you have. We'd love to.
Yeah,
hang out
you,
with
you don't
like-
have to have a Cobalt to come
Yeah.
hang out with us.
No.
We
After you come and we talk to you and convince you to buy one.
yeah, then you'll have one. But Charlie Kuhn with the Camaro, he's selling his Colorado for a Cobalt.
Wow.
He wanted a better gas mileage car anyway, but he saw the video yesterday and he goes, "Yep, I'm getting a base model."
That sounds
like,
awesome.
Fair
Amazing.
enough.
My man.
Yeah, so just a little shout out is that we're going to make a cold air intake for my car prototype, and I'll dyno tune it probably next week. So we'll have that product because who doesn't want that awesome sound?
Yeah.
We'll
Induction
we'll make a
noises.
cool video of it too. So you can hear all the cool sounds that this intake adds. I don't know if it's going to gain any power. The factory intake looks okay. That accordion pipe is kind of terrible.
Yeah, and
That
that's
looks
why we
like
have
that
our
might be
pipe.
a problem. But and I know that that intake pipe we made, it made power when we engineered it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was 5
or 6
7,
horsepower,
yeah,
something like
like that. But it just doesn't give the noise that we all want.
Yeah, we're
I'm gonna keep the stock exhaust on mine. Maybe I'll play on the dyno, maybe unbolt it and let it leak enough to see if I gain power. But
well on my LSJ we had stock exhaust back to the muffler, and we unbolted the muffler and picked up 3-wheel. So within what would be
nothing.
and for all that racket, I'd rather hear my air filter screaming up front.
Yep.
And I'm sure the stock exhaust is probably lighter than whatever you put on it. There's a good chance.
Good chance.
It's only like 1 3/4, I think.
See, I'm
It's
gonna do
small.
like a 3.5-inch aluminum straight
Oh,
pipe
no.
and make sure I'm right in front of you.
Well,
Brendan.
the aluminum piping is actually quieter than steel piping, so it might not sound terrible.
We'll find out.
Brendan, the SS sedans are, I forget. Noah tells me all the time. I think it's 50 pounds heavier than the coupes.
It's not.
They're
It's not as
like
much
the
as
same.
you would think.
And no, you won't notice the weight addition of the rear sway bar, but you will notice handling improvement. Like do the rear bar.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
10 to 15 pounds, and
Yeah, you guys
if
find our sway bar video of Tyler's SS.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
worth watching. It's
And
even
anyone-
if you don't have a Cobalt, it's pretty neat to just watch the camera watching the rear suspension.
It is.
John's.
I think we're all kind of thinking about running 17s, probably.
I mean, I think we're all going to have a various different wheels. I'm going to run 17s because I can't have my car not looking as cool as it can as well. But I know I have 17 by 9s on my Sonic, and they only weigh 15.8 or 9 pounds.
Yeah.
So you can get light 17s as well. So
Yeah.
and those are just inky RPF ones.
Also,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mike, we need a lot wider than 7-inch wheel
yeah,
because we turn and we don't go straight.
yeah.
That's G5 Mike.
Like 9 minimum.
He gonna try to
Optimally.
turn.
I have his old 17 by 9s, and they're heavy, but they would work perfectly for our class here.
Yeah.
Because we're going on Cinco de Mayo, we're actually going to Gingerman to do some racing, and they were like, "Oh, you gonna take the base model?" I'm like, "It's got 15s with like 195,
195, yep.
65 or something."
Yeah.
They're huge.
Have
Like,
you checked Marketplace yet? Can we throw
I've
something on
been-
that? Take it there.
Been checking. Tyler actually said he would offer. He offered to loan me his wheels that are pretty.
So is the
Pretty
Honda,
awesome, but-
Honda offset the problem, or just they're all smaller diameter?
They're all smaller diameter,
Hondas have significantly smaller wheel wells than Cobalts.
15 and 16
them,
inch
yeah.
all day long, and they're all like
Like 16s are like a big donk
7.5.
wheel on a Honda.
Huh.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're looking at a 16 by 8 is a huge wheel for a Honda.
Yeah.
Running a 225 or 235, and we want 245 at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, mine is realistically going to start out with, because I have some leftover tires from my Sonic that are
nice.
225 40 17. So I'm just trying to find a
Okay.
wheel to use
Yeah,
those.
there you go.
So I like a little bit of stretch, not ricer stretch, but like a little bit of stretch.
245, you said?
225.
Oh, okay.
But it's a light car. I'm goal poundage is like 2,700 pounds with driver, probably over that, but like that is my
It's
goal.
not bad.
I'll
Like, is the
probably talk to.
225 gonna be plenty then, or would you still be a lot better off?
I think for that weight, 225 is
225,
probably
yeah.
enough. I'll probably talk to G5 Mike. If
Yep.
you guys don't mind, give me his contact info. I'll ask him because I'm sure he knows weird little things like remove this and it's like 20 pounds and I've never even seen that whatever it is.
He
before.
knows a few things.
Yeah, Mike knows.
He's been
the weight.
trapped in his car more times than
He knows the weight of every single thing in that car.
And
So-
like I mentioned, we'll probably do a tech article on this because there's going to be no secrets. I will break down everything that I pulled out of my car because I want to support this
There you go.
platform and
Scott Parker, you come race with us.
yeah,
Yeah.
29,000.
Holy crap.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Man. I
That's crazy.
was just telling Trevor that Arrival Blue LSJ that I'm tuning right now that the customer's here for has 60,000 miles on it, and it feels so good.
Oh, I bet it does.
All the shifts, everything that you touch, and like there's no squeaks. You shut the door, nothing rattles. Even though I replaced everything in the front suspension of my blue car, it's still there's some sloppiness here and there.
Yeah.
That shifter is just like click, click,
Nice.
click, like the clutch pedals nice and firm, and it's really wild how.
What was someone's car recently in the shop? We replaced the cables. Bo did our install
Our HHR.
coordinator, and he said, "I will do that on every Delta chassis car
Yeah.
I'll ever have from now on."
And we are working on some more shifter mods to increase the feel.
Good.
We've got some going on a couple Sonics. We've got some going on some
Oh,
Cobalts. But, like I always say, we love the feelings of these weird cars that we drive. So the more feedback you can get from your shifts is good.
Well, when
Yeah.
you're in a 150, 140 horsepower car, you want to be having fun, enjoying yourself. Like, everything should feel good. You don't
Yes.
want it to freaking wash the front wheels out or do something dumb or
Yeah.
shift all sloppy.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You want to feel like a race car driver.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, like I have a short shifter in my base model right now, and that's nice. But like the side to side is just sticky. So I know Tyler's working on getting having a spring spun up
Yep.
to improve that, which I'm pretty excited about. That will definitely go on my car immediately the day that it's ready. For
Yeah, that should
whatever.
be pretty cool. And a nice cheap mod. It kind of sucks to do, but
There's a
it's-
lot of people
I
out
bet.
there that would rather spend a lot of time and not a lot of money.
Oh
So,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep. I weigh my sedan with me in it 3,100 pounds.
That seems really heavy.
That does seem really heavy.
My base model was 2,900 pounds, and I had a bunch of extra weight. It had all the leftover engine and tranny mounts. It had the front and rear struts, shocks, springs, coils in the trunk, and a jump pack because I didn't think the battery was going to make it, and the battery's fine. But it was 2,900 with me in it. So that's
And that's all everything factory in it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, and I haven't weighed it yet, but I pulled the airbag out. The rear seat's coming out. I'm gonna do a nice rear seat delete. I'm gonna use cardboard, and I'm gonna spray adhesive it, and I'm gonna get a new stockinteriors.com carpet.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We're not sponsored, but that is like the cheapest place to go. Like, you can order your carpet with or without insulation. So I'm gonna order it without insulation.
Ah.
Tweak the color to
didn't you order one
my
of those?
interior color, and yep, Al
nice
runs it.
material.
And yeah, I'm gonna put that in there so it still looks nice, and it's gonna save me some weight, and it's new. And then yeah, it'll look
Yeah,
good.
your current carpet's pretty beat.
Yeah, it's beat. The guy got it from was a construction worker or something.
Ah.
I don't know. Like everything is.
So he got in there with his muddy boots every day, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think the coilovers, I don't know if you know off the top of your head the weight savings of swapping to coilovers, but it's got to cancel out the sway bar. I would
The
imagine.
Grand Prix it
Yeah.
saved a whole bunch of weight.
Grand Prix saves like 25 pounds. The
Yeah.
the
Wow.
Delta cars, it's a little less because you still have the divorced rear setup, so the
So
weight
probably
is
15-pound savings.
yeah,
something
probably
like
10,
that.
15, yeah,
Yeah.
off the front.
It's definitely gonna save some.
And like we were talking about earlier, the FE5 front struts that were from the LNF cars are discontinued now. So you only have aftermarket
Oh.
replacements, and the KYBs are really great for a daily driver car, but they're not a, set up for
Driving hard.
driving hard.
And our coilovers allow us to swap springs on them.
And swap bump stops.
Uh,
I've got some.
Tim Johns brings up a good point. You could use a plastic corrugated signboard
Ah.
for your rear seat delete.
Oh yeah,
That's a good
that
idea.
yeah, that sounds good.
Plastic corrugated.
That's better than cardboard, I'm sure.
Oh
idea.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
That
a
won't-
oh,
that
the
won't
do
light
things
sort
right
of thing. Yeah.
sometimes.
that won't be affected by moisture at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'll take you up on that one. Good idea.
But yeah, I've got some experimental progressive bump stops on my coilovers right now, so we'll eventually be coming out with those.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, we can
Some-
go up in spring
Some
rates.
20K springs.
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah,
Sway
we
bar
can do a
delete.
little plug here. It's a good investment to get into the coilover family now
Uh-huh.
because there's going to be options.
There's going to be a
this
lot of
is
things.
the base. You're in the ZZP coilover.
Yep.
Yep.
There's going to be upgrades, options.
I said it a long time ago. We're just getting started with suspension here
Yep.
at ZZP. So.
Yep. My S2000, I bought it, and it had some Megan Racing coilovers on it or something. And I ended up buying some, fancy, pretty upper echelon coilovers. And then I ended up buying 3 different rear sway bars and 2 different front sway bars, and I was like just playing with them. I had the car dialed, and then I added the CR wing to it, and then that screwed it all up. I added a lip in the front and a CR wing, and that screwed it all up, and I had to readjust that again. So my long rant point is that we will figure this out, and we will be like, you need this front rear spring rate for this combo.
Yep.
And then, we're going to go to the track. Tyler and I have played around with this stuff quite a bit. We can jump in people's cars and be like, hey, you got to fix this. Because a lot of people don't know what to feel, and, they don't know. But biggest thing is make sure your suspension is tight.
Yeah.
Shake that thing down.
And
if
wheel
stuff
bearings.
moves bad. Wheel bearings, yeah. Cobalts eat them. So.
Oh, that just made me think. Your base model has no wing, right?
It has the low
rise.
The little low
rise
rise.
one.
Okay, so that does effectively nothing, probably. I will have the trunk off of my blue car. We could go to the road course and put the trunk on and
A/B test it.
Oh, yeah.
see if it actually makes a difference.
Make sure you bring both keys.
Yes, good point.
Been there, done that.
Yes, our coilovers currently do come with bump stops. Since they are meant for, the current iterations are meant for people driving on the street, they are small, and what that gives you is more shock travel. A progressive bump stop like I'm running on mine is quite a bit taller, but as the name implies, it gets harder the more you squish it. So rather than hitting the bump stop hard when you get to the bottom of the shock travel, it will kind of absorb it, and when you're on road course, you don't want any big, fast, sudden movements
right.
like hitting a hard bump stop. So it adds to the spring rate as you go into it. So it's, something we're working on. But, yes, they come with bump stops. Our regular Cobalt coilovers will probably be back in stock in about a month.
Okay.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Adam Project, no, we do not, I believe. Yep. We do not have a plasma cutter. We do not have a laser water jet.
We have plasma, just not CNC.
We have a plasma cutter here?
We just bought it
Oh, okay.
2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We don't have any CNC of that. We have a local place that does all that stuff for us. Pretty cool. We just CAD up things and say, hey,
Yeah.
I'll take 50 of these or
They're
whatever.
like
and then
right next door to us. We've been working for them for 20 years. So
Yeah.
Super
Very
fast
convenient.
turnaround.
Yeah.
We have a bead roller, but not.
Yeah.
I don't
It
know
ain't
what
no
a
deep throater.
It's a very mechanical
Yeah,
bead roller,
it's a can opener style. Like you just put
It's-
it
it's
on there.
used.
I do like the door cards, but it's just not something that fits within what we make here.
No.
That's something I would want to do in my own car, though.
Oh man, you got me excited when you said door cards, Tyler. What's going on with our door cards, man?
What?
You're talking about the exterior ones,
Yeah,
the
I'm talking about the
stickers.
sticker
Oh.
ones, not the fancy ones Al's talking about.
Yeah, do you guys in the chat, everyone here right now, would you buy if we made ZZP number plate door cards? It'll say ZZ Performance on top, have a spot for your number, and have a spot for your class.
Yeah,
or
whatever you want on the bottom.
Tyler's has to have his oat picture on it, though.
We're thinking about like offering them on the
Yeah.
website.
Yeah.
We'll make custom ones, order a bunch of them. We can all run them. You guys can buy them.
I need something to put on my base model so people know this is not my daily drive.
There's
is a
some
race
truth
car,
to
darn
that.
it.
You have to ugly it up to the point that it's obvious.
Yeah.
There you
If
go,
you make
Eric.
it look like a race car, then it's cool.
Yeah.
So that's why I was thinking Kydex, drop down bumper.
Vote yes. We want to do it. More yeses, please.
Yeah.
Again, Adam Project. Yeah, I have some door cards. That are magnetic and they're amazing. They're great.
He said for his ion.
Yeah, well, I
can't
have
do
them.
that.
I have
can't.
them. I just got them on eBay. But
And they're plastic.
Ions
oh,
are plastic.
I'm sorry. I had 2 ions.
It's
My
been
bad.
too long.
There was a guy that had the other car that's aluminum. Man, Lotus. He was like, I need some door cards, and somebody runs over there, and they're like, not magnetic ones. Yeah, that's funny.
Well, we got 5 or so minutes left. You guys want to ask some
Hold on,
questions?
I need to know more about the power rules.
Well,
Because
I was thinking about power. You guys ask questions in the chat. We'll try to grab as many as we can.
Yep.
But go on.
so is this going to be like a can't open the engine or just power to weight has to be in a reasonable range.
I would say power to weight has to
Yeah.
be in a
Yeah.
reasonable
'Cause-
range.
Yeah,
Because
because my
he
car's
wants to do
light.
ITBs.
Yeah,
and I want to do some nasty cams.
yeah. The ITB
I don't
thing
care if
won't-
they slow me down. They're just going to sit there and wop, 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 wop.
the ITBs and cams and high compression. That'll be like when I'm done with like the base
Yeah,
model class.
yeah.
Day one for me.
But you're gonna need all that stuff to keep up with
Yeah,
Tyler and I.
probably.
and Noah if he gets
Yeah.
one.
Those dudes are pretty quick.
So
I really hope Noah gets one.
Noah
I hope he
would
does
be,
too.
Only because I know Noah will yeet that thing into the woods without caring.
The other-
And I love watching Noah
I know.
race.
The other thing I thought of is if I get into this, I'll probably would be much more likely to get back into autocross again because I had given up on it with my car because there's just too much power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all I did was waste tires everywhere.
It would be funny though.
Nah, it was. I don't think I ever went to an autocross that I enjoyed. I just left disappointed.
Yeah.
Turbo lag, that wouldn't be fun.
No.
But an NA Cobalt, you're like a Miata, basically.
Especially with
much.
Basically
ITBs,
the same thing.
instant torque, standalone,
just keep it light, keep it
manual pedal.
We
cable.
go from affordable to standalone ITBs autocross car.
tight. Matt Burt, I'm not worried about penalizing anybody until it shows out that they're way faster.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna be like, hey, we need to dyno all these cars.
So
and,
almost like a lemon style stuff. If you're
Yeah.
consistently kicking butt, then
Yeah,
you
you get
can
your
beat
penalties.
Al, or if you can beat Tyler and Tim,
And
then
Noah.
we'll look at your car.
Yeah.
yeah, Noah, Tyler, and Noah, I think has the highest advantage because I don't know how much on course. Oh, you have some.
Some, but it was my first car, and that car was garbage. So
The
we
old
won't.
red
Yeah,
line.
we won't count that one.
yeah.
I just have Tail the Dragon front wheel drive experience, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be a new platform for me for sure.
It
You've
is.
never raced front wheel drive on Gingerman?
No, he didn't until his S2000 and his ATS-V.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then
I
the
had no
Kappa,
idea.
my Sky. So
That's
a whole
crazy.
bunch. I did that Berlin autocross with my Sonic, one event or two events,
Yeah.
and I was thoroughly
Oh, yeah,
impressed
you
with that
took
chassis.
your Sonic to the road course, but your throwout bearing blew.
Yeah.
Oh.
I got a couple laps in it, and I had a bunch of issues too, some tuning issues that I've figured out stuff.
Because you're kind of
things.
I remember a couple weeks ago you were talking about, you're kind of an anti-all-wheel drive road course person, aren't you?
Yeah, just because it's
It's unnecessary. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
A lot
know,
of
it's-
extra weight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're a good driver, you're going so fast that you don't need the traction. So it's like the slowest corner you should be over 55 miles an hour in. So when do you spin the tires at over 55? And if you do, you'd have to be a pretty awesome road courser to actually make that car faster than something that makes a
Yeah.
lot less power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan, dot 5 brake fluid is, for most people, unnecessary. It's too pricey. It has to be changed quite a bit more than dot 4. And I mean, dot 4's boiling point is something like 400 something degrees at the minimum. If you get the good stuff like RBF
Oh,
660.
5 absorbs water, doesn't it?
Well, they all absorb water, but
But
5 is very fast.
A lot more.
Well, no, you don't want. Sorry, you don't want dot 5. 5.1.
Yeah.
5.1 is the one that you would use if you went above dot 4. But you don't want to mix. It's pricey. I mean, you can get AT Type 200 on Amazon for $20. You can get RBF from us for $25. Like, we're not driving anything that would ever need dot 5.
Yes, 200 tread wear.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you would just go dot 4 just because it lasts longer and it's cheaper?
Yeah.
Yeah, 200 tread wear for sure. That is the tire to buy. It's probably faster than a 100 tread wear with how competitive that class is right now.
Yeah.
So
Except for, let's say, a prayer for our Lord and Savior Federal Tires.
Yep. Please sponsor us, but
Still
we know
on-
you're gone.
Still on ban.
We'll figure out a
until-
way to get them in.
Next year. We only have 8 more months, and then they will be allowed back in the U.S.
Oh, okay, good.
However, the U.S. government is limiting what they can price them at, so they will be more expensive.
Man, if we could make federals required in this class.
It'd be amazing. Next Dyno Day, we don't know.
We're so
We're
busy.
so
Probably
busy.
probably never at this point. But
Can you get us 30-hour days and 8-day weeks.
Yep.
Then we will make a dyno day happen.
Man.
I haven't
I don't
seen a
wanna
lot
work
of. I thought we'd see more of I want XYZ part in this
Yeah,
chat today.
me
I
too.
didn't. Is there no base model
Yeah,
guys?
come
in
on,
here,
base
or-
model guys. You get all kinds of views
Every
on
other
that video.
We had
Yeah.
3,500 views on the video in
Yeah.
one day.
Every other podcast,
Wild.
everyone's begging for make this, make that, make this.
All
and
these
the one we
guys-
were like, what do you guys want us to make?
Nothing.
Nothing.
And
Maybe that's just because they're happy with anything.
True.
my request too is that if there's anybody in here that like already does this with their base model, like please reach out to us and be like, hey, I did this and it was amazing.
There
Like-
is one base model guy. He raced with Grid Life at, not NCM, but the one before that, Heartland Motorsports Park. I don't know. One of them. Anyway, he had our coilovers and said they did great. I sent him a T-shirt. I'll have to look him up and tell him to come on up because
Yep.
he's full base bumpers and everything. No power adders, no exhaust, no
Beautiful.
tune, just coilovers and tires, and he's out there zinging it. It's exactly what we want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and we've never been. Another point to this whole thing is we've never been a suspension like tuning company.
Yeah.
We've been a power
Yeah.
tuning company, and this is kind of new for us, dialing in these
Mhm.
really intricate suspension setups.
That's
And-
why I'm kind of excited about it. It's
And-
new things to learn.
Yep.
The Delta chassis is one of the best front-wheel drive chassis. That
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it as lame as it sounds, but like look at the Nürburgring records.
Yeah.
The LNF held it for a long time.
Yeah, everyone instantly goes to the rear beam. You got to go Honda.
The
But
rear beams
But
really
the rear
sad.
beam actually worked well.
yeah.
look at the ring specs. I mean, those are professional drivers.
And
on a
when
10-minute course.
when
like,
they
Yeah.
said it back then, that was 12-year-old tire technology.
Yeah.
And now all the ring cars that manufacturers use are like stripped and they have, 295s on them. And that was a like factory production LNF.
with crappy all-season
Yeah,
tires.
that
on
probably
it.
had Pilot Sport 1s or something on it, So it's a great chassis. We know that. We know it handles well. We're going to
What Nissans had the rear beam? I actually don't know. I'd be curious. Like some front-wheel drive Nissans, or
I don't
assume
know. I never knew that either.
I would assume so.
Sentras, maybe.
Sentra, yeah, I could see a Sentra having it. ZZP bar is a little bit smaller than Powell's smaller one. Any bar, though, will make a gigantic difference. So
Yep. Bar's better
buy
than no
ours,
bar.
and I guarantee you will love your car.
Although I wouldn't throw on a triple X with nothing else.
No,
Yeah.
don't do
Yeah.
that.
Just kind of don't.
Don't
If you
do
get a
that.
triple X, you need a front bar.
Probably.
Yeah, to offset for sure.
And then you're adding a lot of weight. So
Tim looks so concerned reading the comments.
That's just because he's old and blind.
Yeah, Sentra SER. There we go. Cool. V3 on a 1.8. We talked about 1.8 turbos
I would not do
way
that.
back in the day.
The V3 is already too small for the 1.4. It's just like that's the turbo that it should have came with from the factory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that turbo still has a ton of back pressure. I still have people
Oh,
with
yeah.
valve float issues with it. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
a huge improvement.
Yeah.
And
But our Z04 that
I'm gonna
is-
leak a little info.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
What?
Z04 might be right around the
In the
corner.
house?
Might be around the house.
Yes. Good times.
Yeah, I know. No sign.
Finally.
Jeff McGovern's not in here today, so
And
Yeah.
he's the one person that would have went nuts.
He's
Jeff
busy
and,
at
Jeff and
tire
Randy,
school.
Yeah, Randy.
Canadian.
Well, they're not spraying oil anymore, so
No, it's summer season.
Yeah, let's do this.
All right,
Yeah,
After
I think
5.
that's about it for the podcast here, guys.
what are you guys doing this weekend?
Start with Tim.
Yeah, Tim, what you doing?
Oh,
You're
man, I'm
wrenching.
gonna catch so much crap for this. I have the final bowling league thing
Ooh. Nice.
Saturday,
Better
Nice.
finish strong.
Yep.
and then Sunday, yeah, just catching up on all my cars. Like I'll
Cool.
be here, like going through my checklist of all my vehicles and all the little things they need.
All the little clunks and bumps.
The little
Yeah.
things catch up to you.
Yes, they do. Like I have a checklist in my office of like 4 vehicles that need like this.
Trust me, I've put off stuff on the base model for years.
Yeah,
Now you got a road course prep it.
yeah.
yeah, I know.
yeah.
Here comes all that overdue maintenance.
Whoops.
Kate and I got a storage unit today
Whoa.
because I am obsessed with buying cars and we have too many, and I'm at that point. So we're moving a bunch of stuff into a storage
There
unit.
you go.
What did you buy
There you go.
now?
Nothing. Just the current fleet is too big.
You're just making room for more.
Yeah.
How many? What is your current fleet right now?
3.
I thought you
You're
were
down.
down right now.
4.
Because you beat me for a minute. You
I,
were like
I
ahead
had
of me.
8
Yeah.
at one time.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, plus 2
4
grounds.
cars, 2 bikes.
Because I'm at
Yeah.
5. I'm at my highest right now, I think.
Yeah, but Kate and I are like both like love messing around with cars, so
Yeah.
it's like
that's cool.
kind of split. So, yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Al?
Tomorrow, I'm gonna go watch a flock of 4-year-olds chase a soccer ball.
That's
For an
always
hour.
hilarious.
That's my favorite thing.
Because they just, I'll go
It's-
here.
It's great.
I'll go here. I'll go after the ball there.
There's no positions.
So
It's
the
just run.
ball from the wrong field rolls over, and they all just.
Ball.
But no, Hudson, he's fast. He's good. He actually does decent when he pays attention. So that's cool. And then Sunday, go pick heavy things up.
Nice.
Put them back down.
Put them back down.
Nope, just pick them up. Never put them back down.
Just carry them around.
You need some help with that?
Yeah. You can come help. You can come load the bar up for me.
I couldn't even spot for you because
No, I wouldn't let you.
It would rip me forward and flip me off.
You'd die.
I don't know if we could each side spot for Al.
No, we need about 10 of us.
Tyler, what are you doing?
This is our last weekend. I looked at the calendar the other day. This is our last weekend for the entire summer that there isn't something.
Oh no.
Yeah. So we
How
are
many weddings you got this year?
only 2 so far.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
so far.
So far. So I don't think we're doing anything. I'm gonna change the strut mounts on Erica's car and put the summer tires on and mow the lawn. I'm gonna do some really domesticated white people stuff this weekend.
Are you
It's
gonna-
gonna be good?
Slap out the lawn chair, crack a beer, and sit back and look at it when you're done too.
Well, me and Bo were
Probably
talking.
gonna have a fire.
We are gonna have a fire this weekend. It's gonna be nice weather. Me and Bo were talking about this. The first 2 times you mow your lawn, it's fun. It's great. You're like, wow, it's spring, it's summer, we're ready. And then every time after that, you're like, why do I
Yeah,
have to
how-
go home and do this?
How great
This
it is to
stupid.
have not had to mow in
It would be
4.5
great.
years.
I've considered getting a lawn service, but that's too expensive for my
Or
budget.
you could just
Overrated.
get a lawnmower like I have. It just has a little Wi-Fi, little
Yeah.
perimeter
it gets
thing.
lost and stuck and screams for help.
It does get stuck every once in a while.
And you know what I could buy instead of a lawnmower? Another base model Cobalt.
You want 2 base models?
Why not? You know,
Okay.
I got 3 Cobalts right
I
now.
guess.
So
Are you willing to rent those out to Al and I
yeah,
for a
see?
weekend
There we
fee?
go.
Could
Give
be
me,
onto
give me
something.
that LSJ, and then we'll talk.
Oh yeah, I forgot you bought that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Trevor has an LSJ now too.
yeah, I heard about it.
The wrong one.
I would say you could de-blower it and run spec base, but I've lived that life for a short time.
Doesn't
and
work, does it?
Does not.
Did you ever put a 2.2 intake on it though?
No.
Maybe
it's-
the intake manifold will like fix it.
Can we science this?
I don't know. It was a Saab manifold.
Oh,
Yeah, that's probably not great.
It wasn't great, and it had cams.
Ooh.
Heck.
I've got a car that we could try this on.
You do.
I do.
Can we jump it?
It's already got the brakes. It's already got the Aero.
Well, let me take the front bumper off, and then we can.
Okay.
We'll
'Cause I
talk
need
about
that
this
for the new
later.
Who can we get to drive it?
Noah?
Anyway.
Anyways, you guys have a good weekend. We hope you're having a good time. Hopefully you get some car parts on. Hopefully you buy some more car parts. Do what you got to do. We'll see you next week. We don't know what you're talking about, but
Yeah, we never do.
we'll figure it out.
Nope.
Have a
ya.
good weekend, guys.
Bye.